Have you ever noticed how the same so-called starter bikes keep showing up on showroom floors, just with new paint and the same old problems? Dealers swear they're perfect for everyone, but the truth is, experienced riders stopped buying them years ago. These machines look friendly, feel polite, and ride soft. But that's the problem. They're built to impress beginners, not satisfy veterans who know what real torque feels like. In this video, we're breaking down 15 bikes that only rookies still fall for. Stick around till the end, because the number one bike might shock every Harley loyalist watching. Number 15. Kawasaki Vulcan S. Every curve of the Vulcan S hides quiet defiance within. The Vulcan S was designed with that purpose in mind. But what it delivers leaves experienced riders cold. It aims for comfort and approachability. Yet every ride reminds you that it was never meant for those who crave weight, torque, and muscle. This machine feels polite when it should feel powerful, smooth when it should roar. Riders who know the difference between easy and empty quickly recognize where this one stands. Produces 61 horsepower from a 649 cubic centimeter parallel twin engine, generating 46.3 pound-feet of torque. The braking system uses single 300mm front disc and single rear disc supported by an anti-lock braking system. Its suspension setup includes a telescopic front fork, paired with an offset rear monoshock. Wet weight comes in at 492 pounds, with a seat height of 27.8 inches. The starting price sits at $7,349. On paper, it looks like a friendly middleweight cruiser. On the road, it lacks the deep pull and authority that older riders expect. The engine revs willingly, but without presence. And the frame feels light to the point of being hollow. Comfort matters, but confidence matters more, and this machine struggles to provide it. For veterans who know the sound of real torque and the satisfaction of a steady climb, the Vulcan S becomes just another stepping stone, not a destination. The next machine, however, carries even heavier expectations and fails them all. Number 14. Honda Rebel 1100 DCT. The Rebel 1100 carries rebellion dressed in quiet confidence. The Rebel once stood for simplicity and soul, the kind of motorcycle that made a man feel connected to the road. But the modern version, the Rebel 1100 DCT, traded that connection for convenience. It was meant to be a bigger, bolder expression of freedom, yet somehow ended up feeling detached. The machine is confident in appearance, but behind the bars, it feels like a computer in disguise rather than a cruiser built on instinct. Delivers 86 horsepower from a 1,083 cubic centimeter parallel twin engine, producing 68 pound-feet of torque. The braking system features a single 330mm front disc and single rear disc supported by an anti-lock braking system. Its suspension setup includes conventional front forks paired with twin rear shocks. Wet weight stands at 509 pounds, the seat height measures 27.5 inches, and the starting price is $9,599. On the open road, the automatic dual-clutch transmission removes more than the clutch lever. It removes personality. Shifts arrive with clinical precision but no emotion, turning what should be a living, breathing ride into a quiet transaction. Riders who grew up working their own gears know what's missing: control, rhythm, and that bond between man and machine. For some, that may be progress. For others, it feels like a betrayal of what the Rebel name used to mean. The next motorcycle on this list loses something even greater: its sense of purpose. If you've been riding long enough to know the difference between hype and truth, hit that like button and subscribe for more no-nonsense breakdowns. And drop a comment. Which bikes do you think are overrated and don't deserve the attention they're still getting today? We want the real takes from real riders. Number 13. Yamaha XSR700. Heritage styling meets modern muscle in the daring XSR700. The XSR700 is one of them, dressed in retro styling and old school charm, hoping to remind riders of a simpler time. But once the key turns, the illusion fades fast. Beneath the vintage design lies a motorcycle that feels more like a marketing project than a machine built for passion. It promises heritage, but delivers hesitation, trading mechanical soul for surface style. Offers 74 horsepower from a 689 cubic centimeter parallel twin engine, generating 50 pound-feet of torque. The braking system features dual front and single rear discs supported by an anti-lock braking system. Suspension setup includes a telescopic front fork and a rear monoshock. Wet weight measures 410 pounds, seat height stands at 32.9 inches, and the starting price is $8,899. In motion, the XSR feels uncertain about what it wants to be. The handling lacks precision, the seat grows harsh on long rides, and the suspension fails to inspire confidence. Riders expecting a modern classic find a motorcycle caught between identities, too soft to be sporty, too stiff to be comfortable. The styling may capture attention, but the ride experience struggles to hold respect. For those who measure a bike by its heartbeat and not its paint, the XSR700 stands as a reminder that authenticity cannot be imitated. The next machine on this list proves that losing feel costs more than losing speed. If you ride for the feel, not the flash, check the description for solid gear and accessories built to last. Number 12. Ducati Multistrada V4 Pikes Peak. A hill-climbing legend reborn, the Multistrada Pikes Peak demands respect. The Multistrada 5. 4 Pikes Peak stands as proof that power alone cannot buy connection. It was designed to dominate every category sport, touring and adventure, but in chasing all three, it lost its focus. The result is a machine that feels as if it's trying to impress instead of inspire. For riders who value mechanical honesty over technology overload, this one feels more like a gadget than a companion. Produces 170 horsepower from an 1158 cubic centimeter V4 engine, delivering 92 pound-feet of torque. The braking system uses dual front discs and a single rear disc supported by an anti-lock braking system. Its suspension setup uses Erlen's Smart EC 2.0 semi-active suspension. Dry weight measures 479 pounds. Seat height stands at 33.1 inches. And the starting price is $32,995. Out on the road, the Multistrada overwhelms with modes, menus, and sensors. It asks riders to scroll more than they twist, to manage settings more than they chase miles. For men who believe the best part of riding lives between the throttle and the wind, this level of interference feels cold. The Multistrada is fast, capable, and advanced, but it forgets the one thing that matters most: feel. The next motorcycle on this list shows that even Japan's finest can stumble when it follows fashion over function. Number 11. Suzuki Katana 1000. Sharp as its name, the Katana cuts through legacy's shadow. The Katana 1000 tries to relive it and ends up exposing how far nostalgia can fall short. It carries the name of a legend, wrapped in sharp angles and stainless steel confidence. But once the wheels roll, the illusion thins out fast. What should feel like a celebration of Suzuki's racing heritage becomes a reminder that style cannot carry a ride. The Katana looks like it's built for speed, yet it rides like it's still chasing the decade it came from. Delivers 147.5 horsepower from a 999 cubic centimeter inline-4 engine, producing 79.7 pound-feet of torque. The braking system features twin front discs and a single rear disc supported by an anti-lock braking system. Its suspension setup includes fully adjustable inverted front forks and a link-type rear monoshock. Wet weight measures 473 pounds. Seat height stands at 32.5 inches. And the starting price is $13,499. Riders who remember the original Katana expected a modern edge. Instead, they found a recycled platform and cramped ergonomics. The upright bars and limited wind protection turn highway miles into endurance tests. The handling feels heavy without precision, and the charm wears off long before the fuel tank empties. For seasoned riders, the Katana 1000 is a story better left in the showroom, a machine that proves you can polish history, but you cannot ride it. The next motorcycle shows that design without soul costs even more. Number 10. Benelli Leoncino 500. A proud lion cub, the Leoncino roars softer than it should. The Leoncino 500 is one of those machines, handsome, approachable, and promising adventure it cannot truly deliver. It tries to blend scrambler style with everyday practicality, but the result feels more like imitation than inspiration. Riders who know the difference between rugged charm and real capability will sense the gap as soon as they twist the throttle. Puts out 48 horsepower from a 499 cubic centimeter parallel twin engine, generating 33.7 pound-feet of torque. The braking system uses dual front discs and a single rear disc, supported by an anti-lock braking system. Suspension setup includes an upside-down front fork and a rear monoshock. Wet weight measures 456 pounds, seat height stands at 30.7 inches, and the starting price is $6,599. On paper, the Leoncino appears ready for both road and trail, but its behavior tells another story. The throttle response feels inconsistent, the suspension lacks control, and build quality leaves something to be desired. Long rides reveal vibration through the bars and fatigue in the saddle, reminding riders that style was the priority here, not endurance. It may turn heads at a stoplight, but the admiration fades by the time you reach third gear. For riders who prize torque, feel, and lasting reliability, the Leoncino 500 is all show and little soul. The next motorcycle proves that even precision engineering can miss its mark. Number 9. BMW F 900R. German precision meets raw street energy in the F900. The F900R was meant to carry that legacy forward, a middleweight roadster that promised control, strength, and unmistakable German engineering. Yet for many riders, it delivers more frustration than freedom. The power is there, but the feel is not. It tries to balance comfort and aggression, but ends up caught between two worlds. For those who have spent years reading the road through the bars and throttle, this bike feels like a conversation lost in translation. Produces 99 horsepower from an 895 cubic centimeter parallel twin engine, delivering 68 pound-feet of torque. The braking system features dual front discs and a single rear disc, supported by an anti-lock braking system. Its suspension setup includes upside-down front forks and a rear monoshock. Wet weight measures 465 pounds, seat height stands at 32.0 inches, and the starting price is $9,195. Out on the highway, the F900R feels overly calculated. The throttle response lacks warmth, the exhaust note feels sterile, and the ride misses that signature pulse that gives a motorcycle its soul. It is smooth but detached, technical but uninspired. Riders looking for character find numbers instead of nuance. For those who still believe in torque, tone, and tradition, this roadster serves as a reminder that precision without passion is only half the ride. The next motorcycle proves that smaller engines can fall even flatter. Number 8. Royal Enfield Meteor 350. The Meteor burns steady, chasing nostalgia instead of outright power. It looks the part low seat, wide bars, and that gentle thump meant to echo a simpler time. Yet once you settle into the saddle, it becomes clear this machine was built for slow rides and slower expectations. It aims for approachability, but misses the essence of what riders truly crave: torque, pull, and pride. The Meteor may shine under showroom lights, but out on the highway, its limits arrive fast. delivers 20 horsepower from a 349 cubic centimeter single-cylinder engine, producing 20 pound-feet of torque. The braking system uses a single front disc and a single rear disc, supported by an anti-lock braking system. Its suspension setup includes standard front forks and twin rear shocks. Wet weight comes in at 421 pounds. Seat height stands at 30.1 inches, and the starting price is $4,899. At city speeds, the Meteor feels composed and friendly, but push it beyond suburban traffic and its shortcomings rise. The engine strains, the vibrations build, and the comfort fades mile by mile. It was designed for riders seeking simplicity, but not for those who know what long-haul freedom feels like. The Meteor carries the image of a cruiser, yet lacks the heart of one. It is proof that looks may win attention, but soul wins loyalty. The next machine tries to rekindle that soul, and still falls short. If you've made it this far, you're clearly the kind of rider who values honesty over headlines. Subscribe now to stay ahead of the curve and never get fooled by another overhyped, beginner-targeted motorcycle again. Number 7. Yamaha Bolt R-Spec. The Bolt R-Spec strikes hard, but no longer shakes hearts. The Bolt R-Spec simply aged. Once seen as a stripped-down, affordable alternative to American Iron, it offered that raw V-twin attitude without the badge or the price tag. But time caught up. What once felt simple now feels stripped bare. It still looks tough in a parking lot, but the moment you ride it, the years show. The Bolt was built to challenge tradition, yet it ended up proving how hard true authenticity is to copy. Produces a 942 cubic centimeter air-cooled V-twin engine, generating 59.3 pound-feet of torque. The braking system uses single 298mm front disc and single rear disc, supported by an anti-lock braking system. Its suspension setup includes conventional front forks paired with twin rear shocks. Wet weight measures 546 pounds. Seat height stands at 27.2 inches, and the starting price is $8,899. Out on the road, the Bolt feels rougher than it should. The ride is stiff, the seat unforgiving, and the vibration constant. What once passed as character now feels like fatigue after an hour in the saddle. The power delivery remains honest, but the refinement never came. Riders who grew up on torque and tone will respect its simplicity, yet they'll crave more comfort, more soul, and less compromise. The Bolt R-Spec is not a bad bike, it's just a dated one. The next motorcycle on this list shows that smaller doesn't always mean smarter. Number 6. CF Moto Papio CL. Small in size, the Papio CL still rides with swagger. The Papio CL tries to fill that role for a new generation, but what it delivers is more novelty than nostalgia. It looks sharp at first glance, a miniature cafe-styled roadster with urban flair. But once you sit down and twist the throttle, the illusion fades. It is small, light, and playful, yet it never captures the confidence or substance that seasoned riders expect. The Papio CL tries to act tough, but ends up feeling like a toy dressed in leather. Delivers 9.4 horsepower from a 126 cubic centimeter single-cylinder engine, producing 6.8 pound-feet of torque. The braking system uses ABS-equipped single front disc and a single rear disc, supported by an anti-lock braking system. Its suspension setup includes an inverted front fork and a rear monoshock. Wet weight measures 251 pounds. Seat height stands at 29.5 inches, and the starting price is $2,999. Out on the road, the Papio CL reveals its limits quickly. The proportions feel cramped, the handling light to the point of instability, and the motor runs out of breath before the fun begins. It is perfect for parking lot practice or short city hops, but beyond that, it feels out of place. Riders who have spent years chasing torque and distance will see it for what it is, a novelty, not a motorcycle. The next entry proves that even futuristic ambition can feel just as hollow. Number 5. Honda NM4 Vultus. It looks futuristic, but its spirit lags far behind. The NM4 Vultus was Honda's attempt to build something bold, futuristic, and unforgettable. But what most riders remember is confusion. It looked like it rolled off a movie set, yet it never felt built for the road. Long, low, and covered in plastic panels, it tried to merge cruiser comfort with science fiction style. What it delivered was a machine that felt like it was searching for its own purpose. Produces 54 horsepower from a 670 cubic centimeter parallel twin engine, generating 44 pound-feet of torque. The braking system features single front disc and single rear disc, supported by an anti-lock braking system. Its suspension setup includes telescopic front forks and a rear monoshock. Wet weight measures 561 pounds. Seat height stands at 25.6 inches. And the starting price is $11,000. On the open highway, the Vultus rides with steadiness but no soul. The seating position stretches the rider awkwardly. Forward, the low windshield offers little protection, and the throttle feels restrained. The design is more conversation piece than companion, turning heads for novelty rather than admiration. Riders seeking torque and authenticity find themselves detached from the experience. The NM4 Vultus serves as proof that design without heart leads nowhere fast. The next motorcycle on this list trades futurism for muscle, but forgets how to carry its heritage forward. Number 4. Harley-Davidson Sportster S. Bold lines, big torque. The Sportster S screams evolution with hesitation. The Sportster S tried to reinvent one. For decades, the Sportster name stood for simplicity, accessibility, and pure American grit, a raw entry point into the Harley Brotherhood. Then came this new chapter, built with high-tech precision, but stripped of that old-school heartbeat. It looks aggressive, rides hard, and feels powerful, yet somewhere in all that speed, the soul went missing. The Sportster S is not a bad machine. It's just not the one riders remember. Delivers 121 horsepower from a 1252 cubic centimeter Revolution Max V twin engine, producing 94 pound-feet of torque. The braking system includes single 320mm front disc with Brembo 4-piston radial caliper, supported by an anti-lock braking system. Its suspension setup features adjustable inverted front forks and a rear monoshock. On the open road, the Sportster S delivers raw performance but sacrifices comfort. The forward controls feel awkward, the seat grows punishing over distance, and the high-mounted exhaust cooks your leg in summer heat. Riders who expected customization find limited options and expensive upgrades. It is fast, modern, and undeniably bold, but it feels like it's chasing sport bikes instead of honoring its roots. The Sportster S may carry the badge, but it forgot the bloodline. The next motorcycle on this list proves that chasing extremes comes with a price few are willing to pay. Number 3. Bimota Tesi H2. Engineering madness made the Tesi H2 Ben's reality. Others are built for ego. The Tesi H2 belongs to the latter. It is a mechanical statement, piece exotic, angular, and engineered to shock rather than satisfy. Every inch of it screams precision and power, but once you climb aboard, the thrill quickly becomes intimidation. The Tesi is not a machine built for miles or meaning. It is a science project wearing carbon fiber. For most riders, the experience feels more like handling art than riding a motorcycle. Produces 228 horsepower from a 998 cubic centimeter supercharged inline-4 engine, generating 98 pound-feet of torque. The braking system features dual front discs and a single rear disc supported by an anti-lock braking system. Its suspension setup uses hub center steering paired with an adjustable rear monoshock. On paper, those numbers read like a dream, but in reality, the Tesi demands more than it delivers. The throttle response is brutal. The steering feels disconnected, and the ergonomics verge on punishing. Every ride feels like work precise, expensive, and joyless. It is faster than almost anything else on the road, yet emptier than bikes half its price. For riders who believe motorcycles should speak to the heart, the Tesi H2 is all noise and no story. The next motorcycle trades luxury for identity and ends up losing both. Number 2. Indian Scout Rogue. Dark and lean, the Scout Rogue chases glory and misses. The Scout Rogue tries to sell it as a costume. It takes the bones of a true classic, the timeless Scout, and layers on attitude, blacked out trim, and a quarter fairing that looks more decorative than functional. The result is a cruiser that looks mean but feels mild. It wants to play in Harley territory, yet it rides with a detachment that veteran riders notice immediately. The Rogue carries style in abundance, but the soul that made Indian great feels out of reach. Delivers 100 horsepower from a 1133 cubic centimeter liquid-cooled V-twin engine, producing 72 pound-feet of torque. The braking system uses single 298mm front disc and single rear, supported by an anti-lock braking system. Its suspension setup includes telescopic front forks and twin rear shocks. On the road, the Rogue feels quick but not connected. The throttle jumps, the seat rides low, and the handling feels tight but shallow. It's a machine that photographs better than it performs. For experienced riders who remember when Indian meant endurance and integrity, the Rogue feels closer to marketing than mastery. It is not a failure, it is just lost between heritage and hype. The next and final motorcycle proves that even Harley can forget the meaning of the open road. Number 1. Harley-Davidson Nightster. 975. Modern refinement masks the Nightster's fading echo of Harley Thunder, the Nightster. 975 was supposed to honor that tradition while carrying it forward. Instead, it stumbled between eras. It looks sharp, runs smooth, and feels modern, but it lacks the grit and gravity that once made Harley a symbol of unfiltered freedom. For riders who came up believing that a Harley should talk in thunder, the Nightster whispers. Produces 90 to 91 horsepower from a 975 cubic centimeter Revolution Max V-twin engine, generating 70 pound-feet of torque. The braking system includes a single 320mm front disc and a single rear disc supported by an anti-lock braking system. Its suspension setup uses a telescopic front fork and dual rear shocks. On the surface, the Nightster feels like Progress lighter quicker, more efficient, but something got lost in translation. The engine revs high, the ride feels controlled, yet the connection is thin. It is too clean, too refined, too polite for its own badge. For seasoned Harley loyalists, it feels more like an imitation than evolution. The Nightster 975 reminds us that heritage isn't horsepower, it's heartbeat. The best rides aren't measured by numbers, but by the miles they leave in your soul. So there you have it, 15 bikes real riders have already outgrown. The specs might impress on paper, but the road always tells the truth. Experience doesn't buy hype. It buys miles, torque, and trust. If you've owned one of these, or if there's a model you think deserves to be on this list, drop it in the comments. I read everyone. Hit that like button if you ride for the love of the road, and subscribe so you don't get fooled by another dealer special again.